Hello all, and welcome to this Friday night's beer review, which is a post-work beer review because, like I said, I work Fridays for the foreseeable future. Um, and looking on the bright side of it, that gives me more money to go and review beers with. As well as that, I got a bottle of wine up there I need a review, but it's like, I'll figure out the proper time and place to go and review that one. It can wait for a bit. Anyways, what is it that we are reviewing tonight? Well, oh, it went blurry. Great. You can go and see the lovely label art here. Hana Doppelbock Collider. Collider Doppelbock style lager. So I'm not sure why they call it a Doppelbock style lager because Doppelbock isn't a protected appellation. Many American brewers brew Doppelbocks and just call them Doppelbocks. I do have some questions about this one because it's not really quite to style, as you can see here. Oh, it doesn't want to go blurry now. 9.1 ABV, which is much higher than every other Doppelbock that I've had before, which has been within a fairly narrow range of 6.5 to 7.5. I think one might have been like 7.8, but I didn't review that one. That was just part of like a little sampler during a flight. So 9.1 is quite a bit more alcohol than many other Doppelbock that I had. So yeah, let's go and read the back now, shall we? Collision course. Butting heads doesn't work, but it's entertaining. Colliding with your fellow human isn't the same as goats ramming into each other, though. When we collide, things can get explosive, much like the Large Hadron Collider. Okay, didn't know they were going to shout that one out. That's kind of out there. Next time you feel like starting a meme Next time you feel like starting a meme war, reach for one of these. This Doppelbock has been given the royal treatment it deserves. Lagered for a bear's hibernation, the combination of Munich malt and Pilsner malt okay, sorry, I really should have grabbed my glasses for this. Lend notes of fresh baked honey toast and chocolate milk duds. Celebrate, 'cause life's short and headbutting each other is only going to make it shorter. Words to live by, that's for sure. This is white on brown, so my eyesight's getting worse. Granted, the points... It's smaller than text on a page. I don't know, I don't seem to have problems reading text on a page, but yeah. My eyesight is rapidly declining. To match my hearing, which is poor since birth. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the channel before, but I am completely deaf on one side. So, yeah, deaf and blind. Hey, you can see the label art again. Okay, so let's just go and pour this one out. So I actually figured out a way to get this a bit warmer than fridge temperature quickly, and that was I went and submerged it in tap water. And yeah, that seemed to have brought it up to about 55 degrees. So yeah, it's about the perfect temperature to enjoy right now. And as you might guess, at 9.1, a single pint is all I'm going to have of this beer or any other beer tonight. Carefully pouring it out. So yeah, fairly dark, but a bit lighter than some other Doppelbocks that I've reviewed in the past. Um, it's more of like a ruby color, and light passes fairly easily through it. It's more opalescent than opaque. Granted, a Doppelbock is never as dark as a stout, but a lot of times light doesn't pass through it as easily. With a foamy to fluffy beige head. Yeah, kind of smells like those milk duds. Or actually Charleston Chews. So I had some Charleston Chews earlier today. But yeah, definitely milk chocolate, toasted brown bread. Carob nibs, a slight herbaceousness there. It's probably the hopping. Cacao nibs. Cacao nibs being closer to chocolate. Carob has a bit more herbaceous. But yeah, think of it as toasted brown bread with a nice slathering of Nutella on it. Yeah, onto the palate now. And we are at the proper temperature. Yeah. So my first can of this, I had it way too cold, and I was eating something that didn't really match at the time with it. So I wanted to go and make sure it was the right temperature and have like a completely clean palate while I have it this time. But I'm still seeing that major flaw there. And what is that major flaw? This is decidedly boozy. From the mids into the finish, there's a very distinct top note of booziness to this, which is sort of highlighted by the fact that the other palate notes are fairly light-handed. You know, it's not as intense as some other Doppelbocks. Um, while they're there, they're good, but it's not enough to kind of um, balance out the high ABV on this. Yeah. In fact, it's so boozy that I can really sense it even on the palate itself, not just the top note, right at the right at the front. And apparently, it's hitting me really hard for my allergies too right now. You know, it kind of comes across the other notes. The chocolate kind of comes across almost like a chocolate liqueur now in the front to the mids. I can't really, especially now that I'm getting congested. So let me go and try and get some of the other top notes there. Yeah, even more of that chocolate liqueur, some herbaceousness there. Some roasty notes on the palate in the mid to finish. Again, sort of overshadowed by the booziness here. Honestly, this kind of comes across as being a little bit over. I wouldn't say, yeah, yeah. So a little bit over fermented, you know, a little bit too much alcohol going on, not enough sugars, residual sugars. I mean, there's still quite a bit of residual sugars. I mean, don't get me wrong. Enough so that it still tastes sweet, but the mouthfeel is slightly thin feeling for the style. Again, probably again due to the boosted alcohol level. I would like to see this at like 7.0. Those two extra percentage points of alcohol are a bit much for me. Like I said, the other notes are just wonderful, and it also hides the booze in the nose pretty well. When I was doing the bouquet, I wasn't smelling booziness, but it definitely comes across on the palate and in the top note. Almost like a rum raisiny note at times. Yeah, yeah, almost like rum raisin at times, which makes me crave some rum raisin ice cream. I like those old man style flavors. I like pralines and cream. I like butter pecan. I like rum raisin. Old man flavors of ice cream. Don't give me them chocolate bars all chopped up and everything. Give me old man ice cream. As it warms up even more, far past like the ideal drinking temperature, it also too as it hits my head, the alcohol is becoming less apparent. Though that's probably because I'm getting all stuffed up and kind of insensate from the alcohol. Um, Having this on kind of an empty stomach, which is probably going to be a regrettable decision. I don't know, kind of growing on me a little bit. Um, the booziness is sort of wearing off, and you're just kind of left with brown bread, rum raisins, chocolate liqueur. So yeah, I don't know who this would appeal to per se. So it's close enough to a Doppelbock that I can see like the relation to it. I'm not going to say it's like you know, because like the flavor notes pretty much match up very well. Dark fruit, in this case, it's becoming rum raisin, dark toasted bread, and kind of chocolatey notes. The notes I love inside of a Doppelbock. Did I ever mention that? While I don't, so I'll drink stouts, but they are not a preferred style. But dark lagers, I absolutely adore dark lagers, especially lighter variations of it, like Schwarz beers. But you know, I just find it kind of funny that I'm sort of meh with ale yeasts and darker malts, but like I love lagered beers that are made with dark malts. Go figure. Um, I think because it has a little bit less roastiness to it, I'm not too big of a fan of roastiness. I'm one of those heretics who prefers like light roasted coffee to dark roasted coffee when I did drink coffee. Well, yeah, once you get past the booziness, this gets to be pretty enjoyable. I'm going to say it's not to style, though. Um, it's not so off style that it's unrecognizable, but it is 100% not to style in regards to like alcohol percentage as well as intensity of flavor, but it gets the job done. Gets the job done. Anywho, what was I going on about? Ice cream? No. I think it's about time I wrap this up if I'm at this level. Oh my goodness, my nose is red. Well, unsurprising considering the histamine reaction I'm getting right now. So let's wrap this up. Kind of odd. I didn't get such a bad reaction the first can I had, but man, this is just hitting me like a Mack truck in the sinuses and in the head right now. Um, Collider from Hanakoa, a bit too high alcohol, bit too boozy to really fit into the Doppelbock style. But once you get it in you, it ain't too bad. Um, I'm not sure if that's your jam, but yeah, give it a shot. Well, if you can find it, I literally pulled the last 4-pack off at Tamura, so good luck finding it. I think this came out in like late December, January. And that, folks, is your beer review for this evening, which is hitting me like a Mack truck. It's hitting me really hard. I really should have eaten something first. Okay, Prost.